The Encyclosphere. Our vision is this. We will convert the content of all the encyclopedias in the world into a standard format. We will make all that data publicly available, either free articles or the metadata about proprietary articles. We will also give you the tools you need to build your own article collections and search engines. Just imagine what programmers could build with access to all that data, kept constantly up to date, as well as some ready-made platform for displaying it. How can we make this vision a reality? My name is Larry Sanger. My claim to infamy is that I am co-founder, sometimes I call myself ex-founder, of Wikipedia. My academic background and first career was in philosophy, but I've spent most of the last 20 years of my career working on nonprofit reference and educational websites. I started a web project called the Encyclosphere. It's not a new encyclopedia, it's an open network of all the encyclopedias. There's a big difference. To support this vision, I got some friends together to start the Knowledge Standards Foundation. This video is an in-depth explanation and progress report about what we're doing and where we're going. I'm actually going to begin by talking about social media. So here we go. The only way we can guarantee free speech in the long term is if we stop building centralized platforms that connect everyone to the same giant hub. Instead, start building free and open networks, like the internet used to be and was originally intended to be. But what does that mean in practical terms? Well, I've started an organization called the Knowledge Standards Foundation, dedicated to dealing with these practical issues. The KSF incorporated in the fall of 2020. We're working on 2 projects, and both involve building decentralized content networks. You may be wondering what a decentralized content network is. I'll provide 2 examples. One is for social media, and the other is for encyclopedias. Let's begin with the social media project. Think about how Twitter works. When using Twitter's website or app, you log in, compose a tweet, hit enter, and off goes your tweet to some of your followers, all controlled by an algorithm Twitter never reveals. The process happens within Twitter's own ecosystem. If you play the Twitter game well, you can get many thousands or millions of followers. But if you leave Twitter, you can't bring your followers with you. If you quit or if Twitter bans you, you have no way to reach out to your Twitter followers. You can export your tweets, but they're pretty much useless outside a system Twitter exclusively controls. And since there is no social media standard in widespread use, you can't easily transfer your account to one of the alternatives I mentioned earlier. Twitter is a centralized system under their full control. And surprisingly, most of the alternative social media and video platforms, like Gab, Getter, and Rumble, are also centralized in pretty much the same way. But it doesn't have to be that way, as I will demonstrate. Google.com, Facebook.com, and Twitter.com are all domain names. Anyone can own a domain name. I own quite a few myself. For example, my blog is larrysanger.org. I own the domain name. My blog runs on the well-known free software called WordPress, which turns out to be important to our work on social media. So let's talk about it a little. WordPress runs close to 40% of all websites on the internet, quite a substantial number. WordPress began and is still widely used as a blogging platform. But you can control the appearance of your site using themes and plugins, which can basically make your website look any way and do almost anything. The Knowledge Standards Foundation funds a prototype theme we temporarily named Minifeed. Here's how Minifeed version 1 looks after you install it on WordPress. Minifeed converts your blog into a social media feed. Here's my Mini installed on another domain I own called startthis.org. Here's how I post, hit return, and the site updates. I have a plugin installed that pushes all of my posts from StartThis to Twitter. Minifeed version 1 converts the appearance of your blog into a social media feed. We are hard at work on version 2, which will allow you to follow minis owned and controlled by others, who are writing on their own private domains. Minifeed creates a true network of totally independent websites, decentralized and self-owned, and having nothing to do with the corporate giants of Silicon Valley. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the rest will not be able to block your account because you'll own your own account on your own website. They won't be able to keep you from following or being followed by someone else. That will be under your control and the control of those you're connected with, as it should be. We are in the early stages of design, and various features like notifications will be added, as will interactions with other networks, not just individuals. You'll be able to see tweets from Twitter and posts from Facebook and pictures from Instagram, all in one united feed, and you'll be able to respond to them all from the same feed. Minifeed will be made available to the public under an open content license when version 2 is finished. Version 2 is currently under development. So let's take a step back. What's the difference between Minifeed and platforms like Gab, Getter, or even Mastodon? Each individual will own and control their own Minifeed on their own website. Individuals will interact directly with other individuals who are also self-owners, and that interaction will eventually branch out to include networks. Minifeed was created for public conversation, just like Twitter or Facebook, but is an independent project, so there is no platform and no private server that could permanently shut you down. You will own your own data and maintain control of your relationships. Even if some giant corporate web host decides to stop hosting you, you can always find another web host and be up and running as you were before. You won't lose any followers. There are many hosts that advertise and support free speech. It would be hard to shut them all down.